candle that I made a few days ago using a scent called Clean Cotton from the Flaming Candle. At first I didn't really like the scent, but then I revisited it and I actually ended up really liking it, so I decided to make it into a candle. And I typically don't use the Flaming Candle fragrances because I tested them before. They've been lighting my candles, so I try not to use them even though I really do like their scents. It just never worked for my candles. Changed waxes a while ago and decided to retry some of their fragrances. Even from the bottle I could smell that it was light, and when I made the candle it ended up smelling just as light. So I gave it a few days because sometimes curing a candle can increase cold throw just like it increases the hot throw, but it ended up smelling just about the same, which gave me the impression that it may not have any hot throw either when it's burning. And I let this candle cure for about 3 days, and that's the longest I've let a candle cure. And then no surprise, it had no hot throw at all. But luckily I'm still wick testing, so it was nice to know that my wick size is working for this candle formulation. It's safe to say that I'm taking another break from the Flaming Candle. Okay, so as you guys just seen a few clips ago, that one of the scents that I got like about a year ago from the Flame Candle, I tested it. I actually ended up liking the scent. I did not believe it first, but then I ended up actually liking it. Trying it out, it did not perform well. I even let it like basically sit and cure longer than most of my scents, and it just was a dud. Another scent that I've had from Candle Signs was Moonflower Nectar. I decided to try it again since I have a different wax, and I decided to try Moonflower Nectar again, and it did the same. It was really light. I wanted to make sure, because I bought some wax. The wax that I use, I'm now some destash groups, in which I also have a Facebook group that I run for apothecary jars, so just other clear tumbler jars and whatnot, recipes for all type of waxes and whatnot. I'll link it down below, but join us there, over there, so we're growing the community. I've joined some destash groups, and someone was selling the wax that I use, and I was like, and I ended up actually getting it for $18, so thank God. That was a blessing, because my wax is literally $60 for this one slab. $60, and that's including shipping and taxes and stuff like that. So I got it for $18 off Facebook. So I wanted to make sure it was the same quality and whatnot. She didn't do nothing to the wax. I wanted to make sure it was still good. So I decided to make some tests with it. I was gonna have to test anyway, because I'm still testing more scents, because I'm still trying to decide how many scents I want to do my rebrand with. Honestly, I feel like I'm gonna have to do and settle with around at least 3 and whatnot. I have 2 right now that have worked, that I've tested from the Flame Candle scents from my other video that I'm going to link up there somewhere in the iCards, that I did a haul and review of. One of those videos, I believe the actual review, the haul is fine, but the review, like, I didn't have the camera prop right, and it was too zoomed in, and I forgot how I initially like set up my background, so it ended up, you know, not being the most quality video, but I kept it up there, you know, just because I kept it up there. I guess I'm gonna just link the actual haul of the scents. So 2 of the scents I have tried. A lot of them I did not like, a few of them I did, and 2 of them I've tried, and then there's going to be a few more that I'm going to try as well. I don't necessarily care for them. I do need some filler scents. I just need to add some scents into my collection, because basically, you know, I'm still on a budget and whatnot, so I need to get out of the mindset though. I don't have to settle, you know, because it's something you're in a settling mindset. I'm trying to get out of that, but at the same time, I know this will probably be the best, and it'll probably be smart to do that. Just go ahead and use the scents that work, even if they're not my favorite. They don't have to be my favorite because I'm not selling to me. Test with the samples that I do have, instead of trying to go and get 4 ounces of just big bottles, or even samples versions of another company. So I'm just going to use the ones that I got. There is a few that I know work, and there's a few that I actually like, so I'm gonna go with those. So this candle is actually a redo of my campfires scent, my campfire marshmallow fragrance. I already did a tester of that, and another scent that I have. Those are the 2 that I know worked, but I made another candle, in which I thank God I had enough for, to like retest them. So like, yeah, those succeeded from the first test, but I test them again and why, just to make sure. And lo and behold, when I did, it ended up kind of burning hot, in which I was used to it, and I honestly let it burn hot. Like the first time I did the candle, I let it burn hot to make sure it was still safe, but I did want to decrease the soot on the jar a little bit. Like, as you can see, like, there's a little bit of soot here, but there's a lot less than it was before. But I actually went down on the wick size, and it still ended up doing pretty good, burning to the edges pretty quickly, but not nearly as fast as the first one. And I also didn't trim the wick too, just to see what I was gonna do. And with these wicks, the Premier wicks that I'm using, they're actually pretty good on, like, say if they have it did have a bit of a mushroom, not a tail mushroom, but it did have a bit of a mushroom, and it's actually gotten, I don't know if you can see that, it was actually bigger than that. And I'm assuming when I burned it, because basically these wicks have a good tendency of, if they like have a mushroom on them, they'll smoke a little bit, like maybe do like a little pop, and then if the flame, you know, is a little high, but then it goes right back to normal. So that's a really good thing about these wicks. So it's actually pretty, you know, decent to like have a mushroom or not trim it on. You know, you still want to do that, of course, but I'm just testing for, you know, just regular customers who don't really know about candle care, or who just don't care about candle care either. So that's why I just, you know, just go ahead and wick down. I let this burn for like about less than an hour before I said, okay, let me go ahead and wick this one down. And I did. And as you probably seen before, you can see like the little ridges right there. So that's where the memory burn was. And also with that, I bring up the mushroom, because even with the mushroom that it had, the flame kind of like died down a lot, and I was honestly worried about it like going out and tunneling. It shouldn't though, and I pray it doesn't, because then it'd be like an awkward in between. Like this one can possibly burn too hot, and this one tunnels like that. It's crazy, and there's no in between. It's just this one or this one. It was up or down, but it should still be good. It stopped burning as hot, which it pretty much does that too when I don't trim it. I mean, when I do trim it, the flame is a lot smaller and it takes a lot longer to get here, but it ends up getting there. So I'm gonna continue to test it. Of course, it did kind of wimp out, stop burning as hot. So I guess it's a good thing. I hope so. So I may end up having to have 2 different wick sizes for my candles, and which I'm fine with. At least I know. I expected these jars, since they're 3 inches, I expected them to honestly need a smaller size wick, but they actually take a much larger wick than I expected, honestly, before I even got these. So yeah, I'm probably going to go with this one. And then thank God, because those sample fragrances are like legit just enough for me to make a full candle. And then honestly, it's not even half a candle, it's more than a half of a candle. But I have just enough for a full candle and more than a half candle. I had to do the math to find 7% of my candle for the 0.4 ounces of fragrance that I needed. Thank God I found it. I found it like the nail on the head, the exact 0.7 number percent and whatnot. So I ended up finding the exact number that I've been using for full candles pretty quickly. So thank God. I can tell if it's going to have a good hot throw if the cold throw is good. Like this candle, like it just overtakes. So basically I have 3 test jars, right? Because we budgeted, and why throw away jars that I can continue to use? So I bought a 12 package of jars to try them out and whatnot, see if I can find a formula for 4 of them before just diving deep in. Plus we was budgeted. So 3 of these jars are my test jars. So basically once I clean them out, as like there'll still be a little bit of scent. It's completely clean, but it's still like scent. You can smell the last candle, especially on these. These don't clear out at all. I don't want to put water in them because like the little rings and whatnot, I just don't want any water to get trapped. That makes me uncomfortable. But even when you clean these out, you can still smell the scent. So I can tell with a candle or a fragrance that's very light and that's not going to perform well, the jar still smells like the previous candle and not the candle that I made. This one, within the day or a few hours, the cold throw actually overtook what the original candle was. I can't even tell what this original candle was. Yeah. Maybe something fruity. Maybe something a bit fruity, but I still only smell this one. So the scents that have a good cold throw are gonna have a good hot throw. That's what I noticed. Thank God. So I'm trying to figure my stuff out and just learn my formulas, learn my products, learn my raw materials and things of that nature. But I will say that I messed up by testing a full candle first, because you're supposed to test for the bottom and then test for the top. Well, I should have tested with my half or more than half candle first to see, to see for down here, and then test the full candle. In which I've done that before when I first started with these jars. I first started with the half jar, but then when I got comfortable and I guess I just forgot, I just did a full candle just to see from top to bottom. Now I remember, and thank God. So, and I legit, that one sample gives me enough for legit a full and more than a half of a candle tester. So that's really good, thank God. So I need to make these first and then the full candle next, depending on if I like this wick or not. And also, since my jars are like this, even wicking it for down here, it's just gonna have a larger melt pool anyway. Like, I remember I posted it or something, and they were like, "Oh, that's your melt pool." I'm like, "Oh," I posted it on my Instagram, in which follow my Instagram at Destiny Hope Candles. I posted on my Instagram a reel saying that I found my formula, and someone said, "Oh, that's your melt pool," and then I was like, "Yes," after a 7 to 9 hour power burn. Yes, yes, that's it. Like, because because my melt pools they're not that deep, but they're kind of deep for like the 3 hour maybe before mark, but I let them go for hours just to make sure. Because my jars are smaller, it's going to burn quicker, it's going to form a melt pool quicker. And as you can see, like if you can see that, like to where, like to not even as much as my finger, like almost a piece of my finger, this is like the melt pool basically, and that can form within the first hour or two. But I let it keep burning to make sure that it's good, it's not overheating, and it's not sitting and smoking and things of that nature. Does it up here too, it just gets like a melt pool or whatever, but it stays the legit same for hours the whole day. I let it burn for 8 hours, 5 hours, 11 hours, 9 hours, literally. I legit have videos of that. And so on the first burn, even like here, sometimes like some fragrances burn slower than others, or the fact that I trim the wick a bit lower, maybe, you know, that can also affect it. So it may have a smaller flame until I start, because you know, after the first burn I have like a mushroom, or I need to trim it and stuff like that, so it's gonna obviously burn hotter. But it could get like a pretty, like a melt pool around here, around the curve, but I leave it burning for hours just to see, you know, make sure it doesn't go any deeper than that, and it stays the exact same size. And so I'm pretty proud of that. And it's probably not what you know, expect from a candle, or maybe want within the first few hours or whatever, but that's just what I find works for me, because the wicks that I've tried before that do the whole, they don't reach the, you know, the end of the jar within this amount of time, they were never going to. Like they were just so wimpy, they were so short, they didn't burn hot enough to nearly. So it's either, you know, out of these two sizes that I'm using. So I'd rather that than the other one, because those basically tonaled. It didn't really tonal, but it might, because the wax is like soft enough and it's paraffin, so it didn't tonal, but it kept a memory ring, and it was just getting lower, but there was a lot of wax on the sides and you couldn't smell anything, so it obviously wasn't burning hot enough. So I'll take my little, you know, my little melt pool that stays there for 9 hours, then all the wax on the sides or whatever, so because it's still safe. I hold them, I walk around with them, because you should be able to walk around at least for a few seconds. Not the safest, you know, but at least that's a test or whatever, because they said they want to move it or they touch it. It shouldn't burn you to hold it for at least a few seconds. It is burning, so, you know, you shouldn't expect it to not be hot at all. But you should be able to walk around or at least hold it to reposition it or move it around, you know, for the most part. So yeah, and I can do that clearly. So yeah, I found my formula. I'm also going to be collaborating with another Etsy shop by the name of Lombardo 3D Prints, and she's going to be supplying me with some custom made wick holders for my jars, and she has tons of sizes. Like if you scroll down, I'm going to be linking all of their Etsy shops below, and including their Instagrams, and they have that social media, so I'm going to be linking those down below. Thank you for sending me your products to share with my community. I truly appreciate it, I really do, and I hope you guys really do enjoy the things that I am promoting and the collaborations that I am having with these businesses, whether they're small or large. I want to build my portfolio, and I hope you guys are truly enjoying my collaborations and my promotions, because I'm going to be promoting things that actually make sense to my business, to my lifestyle. I am a lifestyle and a business page, but for the most part just do business stuff right now. So later on I will be promoting lifestyle stuff that I would like and that's useful. I hope you guys do really find some use in the things that I'm promoting, in which I'm only promoting the things that I truly want, that I've been wanting for a long time, that I'm gonna use, or that I'm already using, or an upgraded version, and a cheaper version that you may find more helpful, because you may not be as progressive as other people. I'm not even as progressive as other people. So what I have right now is like really good for me, and it's actually like a really decent price. And also, that's the thing, she's one of the most reasonably priced wick holders customized that I've seen, with a bunch of customizations. Like, it's just a lot of customization, and you rarely see that with those type of products, especially on the Etsy shop, and she's reasonably priced to be custom made. So y'all go out there and support and check her out and shop around and see what you like, and I hope you guys really do enjoy those products, because I know I am going to. So this is how it looks as I wicked down one. So it's still about here, just about the same as the other, and it actually got there. The first time I tested this size, or at least the size below, I believe it was this size, even though I feel like I skipped a size, but I do remember, I think, testing this size in one of my candles. And in doing that, when I burnt it for around 4 to 5 hours during a half burn, it was never reaching the size, but this one actually is, in which this fragrance oil I think burns hotter anyway. So I may have tested this wick with another fragrance oil, which I probably did. So using the results from the previous candle, I just go ahead and use that wick for this one. I should have just started over and tried the wicks for like each candle as I'm restarting on a different fragrance oil, because as we know, fragrance oils all can work differently and change the formula and the burn characteristics and things of that nature of your candle, depending on which wick you are using. So I should have just go ahead and started from my base first and then went up and see, instead of going off the one that passed the last counter and then using that here, in which I should have realized anyway, because this one was burning hotter and is a smoky scent, so it makes sense that this is going to be a hotter burning fragrance oil. But thank God I retested, just then, you know, pass it and go along. I actually did a full and a half candle, in which I'm going to test it again to make sure from the full candle standpoint, for this wick, even though it should be good, because if I'm testing half down here and this part of the jar is larger than this part, it should be fine regardless. Yes, I just want to show you guys how this one is working, the size down. In my previous fragrance oil, it didn't even touch the ridges. Like this one has a melt pool, but it didn't even touch the ridges. But in this fragrance oil, it is. Definitely can't test with the winning wick for that last count. I'm just gonna always have to start at a certain number and then build up, instead of starting at the largest number that I can. That is working for this one and my other count. This has been burning 6 o'clock, and it is now 12 a.m. the next day. That's how long I let these burn. And this has been the melt pool. Even if it reached it quickly and whatnot, this is still the melt pool, just right here. So it's either around the same, but the jar's not nearly as hot, or it's a little bit smaller, if you can see that. Okay, so this is the package that I got from Lombardo 3D Prints. As you can see, this is her and her husband. It's a family-owned business. And so these are the original wick holders. And these are a 2.7. And I should have about 12 of these, since I usually make batches of 12, or I will be making batches of 12 because my jars come in a pack of 12. So these are these. And these fit wonderfully. I'm going to show you guys that in a minute. And these are her brand new ones. She only sent me 2 of these because these are brand new. So I guess I'm going to be showcasing these on my Instagram. Okay, and these are a 2.71 inch. They sit around the whole entire rim of the jar. And these are actually a tighter fit, but they still fit. It's just the way that my jars are manufactured, they have a little rim. I don't know if you can see that. It's like a little bulge. You gotta see it. It's a bulge. Now, if it's on the outside, then it's gonna be like a little hard to put on, but it can still fit. It's probably gonna be a little lopsided. But if it's on the inside like this one is, it's gonna have a perfect fit, in which that's just, it's not even at fault of these because this is perfect. It's at fault of the people who manufacture these jars, because they're kind of made a little bit weird around the edges. Yeah, so that are these. And then we have the wick jack. These don't perfectly fit inside of my jars, but they still can work. So there's this stick that you always put your wick in, and you put it inside of this, and you can hold it like that. And then obviously the wick tab of your wick is gonna be right here with the sticker, and then you're just gonna put it inside of your jar, pull this up, and then take this off. What I wish these did have is like a little bottom to it, so this doesn't just come out automatically. But for the most part, this is still fine. It's still fine. And this doesn't exactly fit inside of my jars because of how slim my jars are. As you can see, it's not the normal type jar, so that's not even, so that's basically just on me in the production of these jars. But it still fits this side perfectly, so I can just sit it like that, and then put that all the way in there, and then take this off, and then pull it out, in which I'll show you a clip of that now. Those are all the products that I got in, and I am so excited to use them. I love them so much, and I am so excited to work with her. I already made the promotional video for my Instagram. I did the voiceover a few days ago, actually, before I even got the product. Oh, wrong back. But I did the voiceover before I even got it, because I knew what I wanted to say, knew the products that I was getting, asked her about it and whatnot. So I knew exactly what I wanted to say, and then I just recorded the clips later on. So I made the video pretty quickly, and then I'm going to be uploading it to my Instagram, in which I'll show you the video now. I've collaborated with an Etsy shop by the name of Lombardo 3D Prints. The owner is so sweet and sent me some of her products, in which I'm very thankful for. There are 2 different styles that you can see right here. This is the original design where there's more open space on the sides, while this is the newest design where it completely hugs the sides of the jars. And they're also beautiful and affordable for new candle makers. And I really needed something to wick these loose jars since I've switched over. And every single design fits like a glove. So if you need help wicking your candles, follow their Instagram and check out their Etsy shop. And thank you so much for sending me these products. They're absolutely gorgeous. But I'm going to be uploading that video to my Instagram tomorrow morning, because I've noticed that Instagram likes to change their rules and their algorithms. So I have been getting more engagement and more views lately. Even though my views have went down a bit, they're still like in the 1,000 and 2,000, even 3K, especially like maybe 7 or 14K, depending on like if it's a really good sound or if it's a really good day or a really good time that I post it. But the afternoon postings that used to work for me a lot don't really work for me anymore. So I've been posting at like 7 a.m. in the morning, and I get really good hits off of that. So I made the video, and I want to make a really good impression off of my first, I thought I wasn't recording, but I want to make a really good impression because I know. And it was really crazy because I was just thinking that like, oh, imagine that like my engagement lowers because, you know, Instagram just has its ups and downs. And for right now, my business has been on its downs for my Instagram platform right now. It's still good though, honestly. It's still really good. And then certain sounds, certain clips and videos that I put up just do better than others right about now. So it's still good, it's still a blessing. They still hit 1K. Sometimes on a bad day, maybe it was 700 to 800, or it slows, either it stays there or it builds up, you know, over the past like day or two or the past few hours, and then it'll get to 100. To 1,000 to like, you know, 2-3K. And if it's a really good sound or really good clips or a really good time that I posted, then it hits like 11, 7K and stuff like that, in which I've actually had around maybe 5 or 6 of them, maybe even 8 do that recently. So it just depends, because back in the day I could form a sound. If the sound is doing really good, then and like it give me 8K, 12K, 20K views on my reels, then I would reuse that song. I would form it, and it worked. But right now I can't really form it. It's not really working like that. It still gets me around like 1 to 3K, so I know it's not gonna get me lower than a K, but I can't really form the sound as I used to. But I know it's a decent sound, so there's that. But I didn't want to make a bad impression, and I was like, I felt like, imagine I asked her for these products and I'm telling her, okay, my engagement, because my engagement, not engagement, but my engagement, my reels, and then the lowest that I get on my reels, and which is still about the same, about a K, honestly. So that's pretty much the same. And my impressions, I was like, okay, my impressions, because they are around 2+ million to 3 million and whatnot, so I've been working on that. But my the reach has been going, and my reach has been at a constant like 300 something K, and it's been climbing ever since. But recently, you know, as you know, Instagram has kind of like changed a bit, and this is one of the down periods of my Reels campaign on Instagram right now. So it went from 380K or 350K to like 230K. So that's still pretty good, honestly. I'm still blessed to have it be where it is. And some of them are still reaching sky high numbers, and even one of my reels has reached finally 1 million, because some of them, the sound won't be trending anymore, but then the sound will start trending again, or my reel just gets picked up on the For You page, either again or in general. And honestly, a lot of people have been finding me through the For You page. I never thought I would end up on the For You page. Have I seen it? I think maybe once, maybe back in the day, but I haven't really seen myself on the For You page. But a lot of people have been seeing me there, and a lot of my views can be like, you know, 600K, 700K, but I had my first reel reach 1 million, in which I'm so grateful for, honestly. But yes, I've been doing really good since changing accounts, because one of my accounts, when I started doing wax melts and trying to do that candle business over there with those matte black jars that I had, when I tell you, like, I don't know what was wrong with that account. I was doing the exact same thing. I had different clips, of course. It was like a different branding, but I was still doing about the same thing for the most part. I think using trending sounds, my reels were just getting no views at all. And I legit just made another page. Boom! It was a brand new page, and it was doing absolutely great. So thank God for that. I've even tried to, so I don't know, I think I got really blessed on that one because I tried to make a new page for something else I want to do, but it was just as low as the previous page. So I think this one I just looked up on, thank God it worked out so much. But yeah, go follow me over there actually on my Instagram, and also like, comment, and subscribe on this video, and share it too, and save it to your watch later. And also check her out because these products, like, she has an array of sizes, like I said before, and she does them custom if you need that as well, in which she made these custom for me. And I don't believe it's an extra charge. Even if it is, it's not much. You're supporting a small business, and not only that, these are so well priced. Like, especially if you go down Etsy and just in general, especially for custom items that are 3D printed, she is the cheapest that there is without sacrificing quality. Like these fit amazing, they look amazing. The only thing is you can't choose your color, and I like to choose colors, but at the same time, like, being able to work with her was an absolute blessing, honestly. And I've been wanting to try these for so long. We'll be buying and actually supporting her later on. She gave me a coupon code as well, but I'm going to be buying more of these from her actually. She is really decently priced. Like, these started around, like, I think $1.20, and then the highest you may go up maybe like 4 or 5 inches a jar. Well, you know, for your jar, it's around like $3, I believe, and whatnot, or at least like $1.90 or something like that. It's really decently priced. And then the Wick jacks, or actually I believe they started around $10. These are recently priced as well, because most wicking places, these, especially if it's like one of those, like the white ones that you see a lot, are $80 to something. Y'all's are gonna fit. Mine just didn't fit because my jars are kind of like awkward shaped, but it still works for what I'm doing. And also she threw that in there for free. I didn't even ask for that. She threw these in here as well for free as well. She's gonna be releasing these soon as well. These are brand new to her brand, so she mainly only has the wick jacks and then these little wick holders. She also has them double wicked as well. These are single wick because that's what I use for my jar, because my jars are very tiny. But she's going to be releasing these. She has not released these yet, but stay tuned and follow her Instagram, and I'm going to put it right there on screen. Follow her Instagram and stay tuned for the products that she already has and that she's going to be putting out. And these are so, like, high quality. They are so good. And actually, I forgot, I'm going to show you guys now, even though I have some videos to show you guys. These have some I put on. Look at that. That is so cute. And then there's these. They fit like a, thank God, like, these are the perfect size. Like, look at this. I love it so much. I'm so glad I got to work with her. Like, she is so sweet. And I'm sure her husband is amazing too, because they run this business together, and he helped her get this started and share these materials with us to help us out, just like she needed help in her business and her husband decided to help her out. Like, oh, this is such a blessing. I have been wanting something like this for so long, and I'm glad I got to work with a actually good company who's really affordable to you guys too. It's not like it's not even out of y'all's affordability and price reach and whatnot. It's not like an expensive company either, and it's a handmade business, and it's really good and really reasonably priced to be a small business at that, for something custom like that. Like, y'all can't beat that deal. So y'all go over there and support her, even if you just follow, because not everybody can support financially, but if you can, thank you so much for bringing your business over there and trusting my suggestion, of course.